Hello and welcome to Queerful Consideration. It's release weekend for Magic Origins. I'm your host JT. I will be sporadically joined by our kind of co-host Chandra. And so this is going to be our first draft of this format. I have peeked at the spoilers. I can't say I've done a ton of analysis on it, nor have I really been paying attention to a lot of the pre-release or big tournament stuff that's going on out there. I can say that this looks like a pretty good core set. There's some interesting stuff. I can't believe Prowess is now an evergreen mechanic. I like Menace being added as a keyword just because it cuts down the amount of words on the cards, I hope. But yeah, let's see what we got here. Jace's Sanctum. I'll probably be reading a lot of these rares. Instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast. And gain Scry 1. Well, that doesn't sound awful. That looks like it makes combat a real pain in the butt. I recall there was something similar in Avacyn or Innistrad that made things a real pain in the butt. This is a 5-mana 4/4 that also naturalizes, which seems really great. Victor's fine. Construct, Shaman, Visionary is always good. The Maulers are very good. The heavy infantry is better than it looks. Wow, this guy does some work, but you know what? God. I think this is just better. I think this is just really, really good. There's a lot of artifacts floating around in this set. There's a lot of enchantments that can do bad things to you. I think I want to be there. As much as this is interesting and novel, I think the Naturalist is a better place to be. I also think green is really good in this set. This is terrible. This is very, very strong. I like this a lot. And this vampire, whoever this Malakir guy is, or Malakir clan vampire, shows up in a couple cards. I like him. Yeah, speaking of which, like this one. What is it? Elves versus vampires all the time in this joint? This, however, do I want to go into green-black elves? This thing is a beating. Just really, really strong beating. This thing is pretty cool. Looks like somebody took a common or a foil out of this pack. The Firefiend Elemental is very good. The Disciple is very good as a 4-drop. The Servant is part of that Collect 'em All cycle. I am tempted to take the Coldblade or the Shaman. The Shaman's just good value. I'm going to go ahead and take him. Maybe I don't have green-black, but green-black is an archetype that works. The Disciple here is very, very good. Let's look at our uncommons. Turn to Frog is fine. It's cool. Valor and Akros is not exactly great, although it does make combat a little bit of a pain in the butt. The Vial is serviceable. The Bargabruk is very good in red. Majoring Bully is better than it looks. But the Disciple is just a beating. The creature is very, very difficult to deal with. I think green's actually really deep. I know white has gotten some hype for being the best, quote-unquote, best color in the set, and is probably going to be heavily drafted, but I think green is wicked deep in this set. Let's see what we got here. Dark Petition. Okay, it's a tutor that sometimes puts more stuff in your hand. The Maulers are an awesome 5-drop 4/4 trample that just gets worse to deal with. I think the Force Mage is actually a really, really strong guy here in this format as well. The Eyeblight Assassin is fine. It's fine. Kithian's Tactics is very good. Man, I like the Maulers, but I think the Force Mage is just good utility. I definitely want to pick up at least one Maulers later. This is good. This is a lot like the Hydra, except it doesn't give trample, aspect of Hydra. I like this Shaman as a 3-drop elf, but this is just a really good overrun effect that just wipes boards. So I'm going to take it as the top end and then hope that I can fill in. Consecrated Consecrated by Blood. Now, I'm not exactly crazy about sacrificing all of my creatures. Eyeblight Assassin, again, is fine. If it's a choice between that and the Hitchclaw Recluse, I might want to go with the... Look, the only synergy with the elf right now is the Shaman. Disperse is very good in this format, by the way. Do not sleep on that card. I think I'll take the Recluse here. And if these Eyeblight Assassins wheel, wow, nobody's picking them up. Nobody's picking them up. I'm going to take the Orchard Spirit over the Eyeblight Assassin. It's 3 mana for a 2/2 again. However, I am predominantly green. And this thing is functionally flying. So 3 mana for a 2/2 flyer versus 3 mana for a 2/2 elf. Lets me stay more green. I'm going to stay in it. There's another one. I'll just take it. Nothing else in this pack is super great. That black enchantment that turns your creature into a Jeskai Sage is fine. Bonded Construct. Dismissal. It's pretty expensive for a mana leak. Heavy Infantry is very good. Scab's fine for what it does. The Smash is really useful in this set. I'm going to take the Infantry just because I'm surprised it's still there. Here, it's an interesting fog, but not what I'm looking for. Honestly, this thing is going to be better, potentially. The Mantle of Webs is terrible. This thing is fine. Sideboard against Burn? Unlikely. Well, hello and welcome, Chandra. Chandra's bringing me something. Ooh, Peanut Butter Cup. Exciting. Nobody is in blue. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Giant Sea Serpent. Moonglove. Moonglove is a sideboard card that could end up in my decks. And an island. Nope. Get out. Get out. Alright, so my curve starts at 3. Not exactly where I want to be. If I can pick up some of those black... Oh my. Alright, well, the Demonic Pact is worth 3 tickets here. And it's, you know, mythic and it does interesting things. If nothing else, it's a deal 3, drain 3, or deal 4, drain 4 for 4, which is fine. I like drawing 2 cards as well. So I think I'm just going to take it. That and 3 tickets are worth it for me. Literally nothing green in this pack that I care about, although this is a fine sideboard card. The Shadows of the Past, though, is very good. It's great late game. The Revenant I like, but the Pact is pretty powerful here, and it's worth money, so we're taking it. Meddler, huh? Man, I actually like that card a lot. Marauder is a zombie. The Pilgrimage. Yeah. So I like Read the Bones, and I like the Pilgrimage as a ramp. I'm going to take the Pilgrimage. It does a similar thing. I've got room for non-land cards, and I want to be able to ramp into big things. Now, this thing isn't finding a lot in my deck right now because I don't have a lot. Do I want instead an Orb of Warding? Really? No, 17 cents is not enough to compel me to pick that card. Rogue's Passage, I already have a ton of. Deadbridge Shaman versus Sylvan Messenger. Messenger has the chance to creature power 3 or greater enters the battlefield versus Eva's Force Mage. I think this card is good. I think I only have a precious few creatures that actually trigger it. 1, 2 only that trigger it so far. So that's tough. The question is, am I taking a Marauder or another Elf Shaman or a Way to the Underworld? I think I want the Elf Shaman. I think that card's really good. Gnarlroot Trapper, exactly the kind of thing I want to see. The Empath is also fine. Scry 2. Put a creature into my hand. It's an elf, but the Trapper moves fast and gives my elves Death Touch. This thing is a beast. Thing is kind of broken. I'm going to go ahead and Gnarlroot Trapper. Wild Instincts is exactly the kind of removal my deck wants. It's exactly what every deck wants. The Archer is also very, very good, but the Instincts is perfect. Separatist Void Mage is a real pain in the butt. This thing is awesome in the artifact deck. I'm not in the artifact deck. I don't need any more 3-drops. Card from graveyard on top of library. Ugh, I'm just going to hate out a Void Mage. The hell does this guy do? Yeah. Okay, cool. Tactics is good. There's my Maulers. I wanted those. Aerial Volley is fine. Dark Dabbling is fine. The question is, do I want the Revenant or the Volley? It's creature cards in my graveyard. I'm not actually crazy about that. Yeah, I'll take a Moonglove. Caterpillar's fine. It's an early game play. It does have some utility by naturalizing later. It's actually kind of cool artwork too. Okay, we have a Rabid Bloodsucker as a 5-drop. It's 3/2 flyer. I'm not crazy about. This thing I don't think is going to make my deck, but it might. Go ahead and throw him in the sideboard. That's definitely the kind of card that I would like to build around. Vastwood Gorger was fine in the set where he came out. I don't know if he's fine here or not. But I like having a little high end, and I've got some rampy stuff. Naturalists are dryads, not elves. Huh. Man, these guys are good. Alright, so what do we have here? Tainted Remedy is not the thing for me. Renown, I don't have any other Renown in my deck. And those are human monks. I do like a Leaf Gilder to ramp me up. I also like an Elvish Visionary. I also like a Deadbridge Shaman. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Gilder, because going from 2 to 4 is actually a pretty big game in my deck, and it's an elf. Also, it's my only 2-drop. Looking at this, we have a Ram Roller. We have an Angel's Tomb. Very good. Vine Snare is that weird fog. Shambling Ghoul is not good. So I'm not crazy about the Ram Roller. I don't have any other artifacts, really. The Angel's Tomb could be okay, because I am actually casting a lot of creatures in the deck. Meteorite I don't think is as good as the previous sets that it was in. But it would be a rare piece of removal for me. I think I'm going to take the Angel's Tomb here. For its upside as a 3-mana creature. Read the Bones is good. The Imp is good as removal. The Visionary is just an elf that draws me a card, and I think that's where I want to be. And we'll see what laps. This guy, by the way, is the Bomb Diggity. I love the red-blue aggro or red-blue artifacts / Thopters decks. I just think they're great. I would love to force that someday. But we seem to have landed in green-black elves. Probably because of my pick of the Shaman there early on. But hey, you know what? Let's see how this goes. Here we have not a whole lot for us. We have this Combat Trick, which is fine. We have the Waltz, which gets back some cards out of the graveyard. The Husk, which allows me to sack some guys. I don't really think that's where I'm at. The Brute is really good. Tormented Thoughts is definitely not where I'm at. So I think the Growth is where I'm going with this. Tough to say, though. The Tomb is still a fine pick. The Goldforged Sentinel is a fine card. Certainly better than the Rabid Bloodsucker for 1 less mana. Scrapskin Drake is very good. Smash to Smithereens, surprisingly good in the format. Infernal Scarring is better than it looks. Orchard Spirit, though, is just a completely serviceable creature. I think the question is, do I want another 6-drop flyer? Or do I want another Orchard Spirit, a little 3-mana 2/2 flyer? I'll take the Sentinels. Thornbow Archer, exactly what I want. Yeah, the Timberpack Wolf is part of the collect the whole set, collect them all. But, yeah, this is pack 3, we don't have any time for that. Let's go ahead and Thornbow Archer and be really happy we found it. Psychic Rebuttal is a real thing. Celestial Flare is a real thing to watch out for. The Elemental is very good. A lot of good stuff here. Green, we might be in the wrong color. Krasis is not going to get splashed. The Centaur is not good enough to make the deck. Let's just be aware of that Krasis being out there. The Timberpack Wolf. Wow, 2 Timberpack Wolves in this. This thing will usually replace itself, and I think that's good enough. Also, it's an elf. And look, a 2-mana 2/2 with upside is great, but I just don't have any more of them. Tainted Remedy's fine. Might of the Masses is potentially very good. Gorger versus Fog versus another Heavy Infantry. You know, I'm going to hack the Negate. This actually looks like a pretty good deck here. There's some stuff I need to trim. I wonder if Warhorn is actually worthwhile in this deck. I do have a lot of creatures. Might of the Masses would also be interesting there. I'm going to put that guy in and this guy in because they're all totally playable. I'll hack this guy out of there. Might as well hack a Tormented Thoughts. I've already hacked multiple Serpents. I don't think I need to get all of them. I do not get any bonuses for having 5 of them in my sideboard. I'll take a Smash. Strictly better than Shatter. I remember back in my day, we paid 1 red and 1 other just to destroy target artifact. And this guy. I am almost mono green here, which makes the pact a little bit awkward. Not gonna lie, but also makes my multiple black 1-drops a little awkward, including one of my Rampers. But man, this guy makes combat a real pain in the butt. I think the Caterpillar is sideboard material. I think the Might of the Masses is very likely sideboard material. Let's go ahead and sort by converted mana cost. Group creatures separately. Yeah, I think the Warhorn, I've got so much else to do there. I think it's bad. What do I have that triggers the Elemental Bond? Well, none of these guys. Shaman of the Pack is the only thing there. Shaman, Naturalist, Maulers, Gorger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 creatures out of the deck trigger this thing. Not good enough. Okay, so now we're at 26. Wild Instincts is a fight spell. It's my only removal. And there's another one of those Malakir vampires getting stabbed through the heart. Okay. Nisa's is ramp, and I do have things I can ramp into, which is cool. Aerial Volley is strictly sideboard removal. 1, 2, or 3 damage. Yeah, strictly sideboard. Might of the Masses, huh? It's interesting. It's interesting, but I don't think it's good enough as a combat trick. I think this is actually a creature. Yeah, let's just run this, man. I think we can get away with 16 lands here. 8 and 8. I have a Gilder and a Pilgrimage putting lands into play. I will get up there. Okay. Yeah. I already have 1 Touch of Moonglove in there. I think that's sufficient in terms of removal spells. And I could take it out. But I like it. It gives me a little bit of reach. It gives me a little bit of removal. It's pretty sweet. I'm going to go ahead and submit this deck. I'm going to go ahead and pause it. Thanks for watching our very first Magic Origins draft here on pre-release weekend. It's Sunday night, about 9:15, and we'll see you in round 1.